Hello and welcome back to Fandom Fridays, where we proceed to check out the fanfics that are not pony related. Why? Because really, those other fics have those other fandoms. They got good fics too. Sometimes, once in a while. Okay, I'm just making things up. Anyway, well, I think it's about time we take a good look at another type of crossover. And I think I know which one. Because, you see, I was quite curious on the Predator side of things. Just, what type of stories can we be done with Predator? So, I decided to look up the Predator crossover and really fanfiction.net. We need to talk. Aliens is a separate movie franchise. Predator is a separate movie franchise. Why are you combining the two? Why are you merging the two, fanfiction.net? You shouldn't merge the two, fanfiction.net. You should have one side for aliens, one side for the Predator. How would you like it if I decided to merge the Friday the 13th franchise and the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise into one crossover? That would annoy the people who are looking for a Predator crossover and an Aliens crossover. Because when I'm trying to find a Predator crossover, I'm not trying to look for an Aliens crossover! Anyway, let's take a good look at the library, see what we've got here. Oh! Well, this sounds interesting. A Predator's Life. I think you people will enjoy. Well, sit back and relax, people, as we here at the Treeberry Memorial Library are proud to present A Predator's Life. A Predator's Life by H. Flores 74. Chapter 1. I know that some of you will out object or even hate some of the things written in here. Buddy, I've read Myken. I've read Deathstalker. There's nothing you can throw at me anymore that you will cause me to hate right about now. Do your worst. I have been through hell. And I came smelling like daisies and petunias. Like not roses. Because I lost my gun. So I can't smell like roses. Ever since the first day in his life, he suffered a cruel fate. Naruto had just been born, and had one of the tailed beasts sealed within himself. The very one that would one day be blamed for the death of his mother and father, and so many others. He would begin life surrounded by death of the people. That would have given him the warmth he would always need. But for the first 6 years of his life, he would never find. Having no parents would mean that he was an orphan. Hiruzen Sarutobi had to take care of back to his old post as Hokage. He did this in order to restore the village, but secretly he did it. But, so he secretly restored it? Or he secretly went back to being Hokage? He secretly went back? I think there's a little grammar error here. To be able to pass laws to protect young Naruto. And gentlemen, please come here. I want all of you to know that sometimes pre-readers are your best friends. If you start feeling like your grammar is faltering, please notify your nearest pre-reader at the nearest exit. Laws that would be officially followed, but unofficially ignored. Oh yeah, I saw it on the show. So they unofficially ignored it, all right. Run away! He's a freaking nine-tailed Steven. Run! I do think we should. Shut it! He was sent to the orphanage, and there he would be protected, or so the Hokage believed. He gave a great deal of money to be sure that this place would provide for children, and especially Naruto. The matron mother had other plans, however. She would use the money for herself first, the other children second, and Naruto last of all. The tailed beast was the only thing that would ever provide help. This mighty being kept young Naruto alive. He kept his body strong, while he was supposed to be malnourished. Kept his senses sharp, while they were supposed to be weakened. and he kept the boy company while he was supposed to be alone. In the first 2 years, he began having dreams. And these dreams go on when I close my eyes. He kept the infamous Kyubey no Kitsune, or Kurama as he was once named. Not doing it! No! Not making a Yu Yu Hakusho reference! You can't make me! The two could never truly talk much, so Kurama spent the time teaching him things he would need. Things a parent might teach their child, and things a teacher might teach a student. When he was 3, he began to tell his fellow orphans about his friend. They all treated him like crazy. Nobody had an imaginary friend like that. In his 4th year, the matron was sick of trying everything she could to kill the demon brat. My gosh, the Kama's being abused everywhere on this thing! She tried stabbing him in his sleep, putting poison in his food, then outright deny him food. Last was to deny him the friendship of others. She did this by threatening the children. To those who are friends with that thing will suffer as he does! But nothing worked. So, she decided to kick him out of the orphanage and tell the Hokage lies. The fallen man was far too trusting for his own good. For the next 2 years, he wandered the streets, asleep in dark and dirty places, and ate out of other stuff to throw away. He also gave himself out for money. And sometimes he also played as a little clown. Darn those days. Darn those weird, dreary days. When he was found, he would be beaten, and sometimes they would stab him and leave him to die. No child of man should have to endure this, and it did leave a mark on him. The sheer misery of this child slowly caused his eyes to change. I'm trying to take this as seriously as I can, people. I really am, but do you know how close I am to just bursting out laughing? I'm this close! I'm this close to breaking! They first began to lose that ocean blue color, until his eyes were as clear as water. Second was that through pain, he saw the truth that most would ignore. He saw the world as it really was. A vast graveyard, where all things that live will one day die. But one thing he never expected to happen would happen on his 6th birthday. He met someone who was very, very good at hiding, but not from him. On that day, he simply walked into the building. Who leaves their buildings open at night? Well, they are full of ninjas, so maybe they just realized F-locks. True. Climbed and jumped to reach this man. Oh. Wait, no, I didn't. To Wolf, he was a very strange boy. There was no way he could see him. His cloaking system was active, but sure enough, the child reached him and asked him one simple question. Who are you, mister? Wolf could hardly believe it. That's not the bio! This child was looking at him with no fear and asked him that question. I want some of you to call me Predator. And I want some of you to call me Susan. And I want some of you to call me in the morning. I am named Wolf. Tell me, child, why did we forget to capitalize the T? Really? We were doing so good with the capitalization earlier. Why are you not afraid? Doesn't my face frighten you? I have killed many of your kind. Does that not make you fear me? The child only looked at him and then looked down. I wish that you would also kill me. Free me from the hell that is my life. He said it! I can't believe he said it! My little brother is thinking he's asleep over there, but right now RPG Lover is throwing he's right now laughing into the pillow! oh man. You should have paragraphed that. Okay. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'll continue. Wolf could not understand what this child could mean, so he asked him. He asked him why his life was a hell. What his life was like. What it is, how's it hanging? The answers would make him want to kill every person in the damn place. No child should suffer like that. No child should be treated like this child was. They had lost the right to raise this brave child due to their cruelty. Child, my people forbid the killing of children, elderly, the sick, or females that are expecting. I cannot do as you ask, but I will do something better. If my elder feels the same as I do, he will find you a mother amongst my clan. You will have a home, a family, and a purpose. So tell me, child, would you follow me? Are you kidding? Have you seen the rest of the story? Heck yeah! Young Naruto could only nod at this strange person. Asked this strange person, what? Oh, took him in his arms. You know, I so rarely find a fanfic where they decided to not use the comma, right? Most of the time they just leave the comma alone. But this guy likes to use his commas. I applaud. Kudos. Kudos on this. I just wish he could use the comma right. Took him up in his arms and ran out the village and into a clearing in the forest. He touched his arm and something opened under a lot of branches. He saw a strange-looking thing. He had no words to describe it. Oh, Naruto? Okay. We'll set Naruto on a rather comfy seat. Ooh, velvet. And strapped him with some harness. We'll set the pod to return his ship, and to the place he would bring the child to meet with his elder. Wolf, what is the meaning of this? Why do you bring this Umid child before me? Wolf began to tell the elder everything he heard from the child, and everything he had felt when he picked him up. He indeed had multiple scars across his chest and back. His visor had showed him multiple fractures. The elder had seen many cruel things in his life, but cruelty of this kind to a child was not something he would allow. The entire chamber heard the elder scream in rage. This child is strong to survive what he did! Who amongst you shall take this child as your own? I will, said a young female predator. This is my child. I shall see him become the best of hunters. The elder approved. And so Naruto had a home. His mother told him to call her Void, as she was one who could never have child on her own, until now. So Naruto and Void began to live together, aboard the ship first, and later the home world. Predator mothers do not teach like we do. They teach by example. She was very proud of her child, as he learned things quicker than most. But the environment of the homeworld was harsh for even most predator children. She has to ask the elder for his son to receive an infusion of her own blood. This would make him able to survive, if he managed to survive the infusion at all. The elder did not want to do this. The child was only 8, and he was still— It took you 2 years to get to the freaking homeworld! And he was still weak. But when Void told him that, in addition to being able to survive, the others would finally see him as he truly was, her child. The elder could not deny her request after hearing this. The blood infusion was done, and now he was Naruto RN, wielding a bodysuit of pure Tozonian make. Yes, little brother?
So, he's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid that is trained and adopted by an ancient alien race and is given an infusion of their own blood.
Hey, he already did the Samus joke! And technically Samus already has green eyes, you friggin' twit!
No, they're more blue.
They're green.
Blue.
Green!
Blue.
Green!
Blue!
Look, I'm gonna go on to the Nintendo Wiki, and I'm gonna prove you wrong! Excuse me for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Ha! Blue with a slight disagree, so technically we were both right! It says that they are green In that game that shall not be named. So, yeah, let's just focus on the good stuff, shall we?
Yeah.
And now, excuse me, I have a Metroid. I mean Naruto crossover effect to read, and like it. Oh no, where was I? And though many swore that the child was dead at some point, but suddenly revived. His nails changed to become almost claw-like. His mother and her people, comma. His skin took the same color as his mother, and his hair hardened. How do you do that? When the infusion was complete and he stood, he walked in the middle of a vast chamber and did as his mother ordered him to do. Sit down and not make a sound. His hair was braided in a traditional fashion, and thanks to the blood infusion, he was in a lot of pain. But he said nothing, did not make a sound. The way his mother was doing his hair. Darling, that hairstyle is so you! Made grown adults flinch. She was doing rather roughly, and singing a lullaby that had death of the weak and killing ones without honor as the main theme. It was during this 8 years that Kurama taught him many jutsu, and many skills that he had called ninja skills in his mind. How convenient! How did the large fox know these things? These things! See, there's this thing called plural in his paragraph, and he never figured out. But he learned to use his eyes to extend his eyesight, and he could see almost all around him for miles. The use of those so-called jutsu made learning things his mother was showing much easier. It was when he became 10 that he wanted to go on his first xenomorph hunt. The child was too young for that to take place, but he would see how strong the child was. Who? Who would? Who? So he accepted for Wolf and this child to go on a hunt. Who would? A known xenomorph infested space station. When the two landed, Naruto asked Wolf to give him a little space. He was going to find the queen. Wolf, of course, did as he asked. He saw the child make strange hand signs, and out of nowhere, 40 identical copies of this child stood around him. Naruto ordered them to find the queen, kill the rest, leave no xenomorph in their way. The clones took off in every direction. Now we wait. How come you haven't seen me in such a long time, Wolf? Wolf began to laugh as he heard the teen ask him that question. I wanted your mother to teach you, without interruptions. Wolf. Why do xenomorphs hide mostly at the center of this place? Naruto could not understand why. Because they could surround their queen with warriors, and she would feel safe. Naruto began to walk down a corridor, and Wolf followed. With warriors this week, I didn't think she would be safe anywhere. Naruto pointed at a dead xenomorph. My clones killed 120, not one worthy to take a trophy from. Hope this queen is different, or I will be the laughingstock of her clan. As they reached the chamber where the queen was, Naruto asked one question of Wolf, under the gaze of the queen. Tell me that this fatso is not the queen. Oh boy, had that finally done it. Wolf could have sworn the xenomorph queen sounded something along the lines of, You want 10,000 eggs to see if you keep your figure! Wolf was ready to begin a really tough fight, till Naruto stepped before him and told him he would take care of it. Wolf did the only thing he could. He touched his rescupier and recorded the entire fight for prosperity, or the kids at the funeral. Oh, this is so going on Space Tube. Naruto made 50 shadow clones. 40 of them distracted the queen, who was still very angry at being called fat. Wow, that almost made me forget that we're in the middle of a killer hybrid section. The other 10 divided in groups of 5. The front one did one technique, while the one did the side to the other. The front group did a fireball style, fireball jutsu. The other did wind style, wind tunnel jutsu. The two techniques merged and became what would later describe be a giant flame stream. I call it pretty. The Queen, capitalization, had no chance and was burned to ashes from the abdomen down. Naruto walked over to the Queen, and with the blade he had on his back, he did as he was taught and took the Queen's head as a trophy. Well, this was not what the Elder expected. Here he was, Floyd's kid dragging behind him a huge sack. Nice. Wolf, what did the young one bring home? The Elder was curious as to what the child had brought home. No, duh! You just said that! Wolf respectively asked the Elder to open the sack himself. The entire chamber just was surprised to see the clean skull of a massive xenomorph queen. He quickly congratulated Wolf for his fine trophy. But Wolf told the Elder he was not the one who killed the queen. This made the entire chamber look at the 10-year-old who had dragged Zack back in the first place. Floyd was beside herself, as he was simply that proud. She ran and picked up Naruto and gave him what could be a bone-crushing hug. She began to say in their language something that made several adults feel sorry for the kid. My precious boy killed a Xeno Queen in his first hunt. Oh, you made me so proud! And so, it came to pass that Naruto was given a new name. Death! Oh, God! Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. After going through Moonbeam's Dragon with the whole entire Darkseeker, I think I've been completely ruined for names like this. For the sheer number of Xenomorph warriors his clones had killed, just to get to his intended target. In the next 5 years, he was given a full armor set and all the traditional Pred weapons. He was quickly recognized as a true hunter, and several clan members were happy to have him in their hunting party. His killing of the Xenomorph Queen had consequences that could be considered almost negative. He was literally chased across the mothership by predator females that wanted to bear his child. And of course, some of the female Preds that wanted to hunt with him. I don't know, Naruto. I've seen my fair share of hot alien female Preds. They're quite sexy. That was one reason he went on so many hunts in the first place. He did find many of the female attractive. Woo! So did I. But the way the bodies! The faces, on the other hand, I would rather kiss a female Krogan. Oh, really? I explained it to him. Females tend to be a little passionate when mating, resulting in broken bones, sometimes paralysis, and even death in some cases. And broken pelvises. Broken pelvises? Ooh! Ow! He, of course, could not outrun every single female, and indeed, some laid traps to catch him. Alas, a man! So at the tender age of 13, he lost his virginity to a rather well-endowed female by the name of Nightclaw. Nice! Way to go! Pokey Pierce approves. Very nice. Indeed. I definitely agree on that one. Oh, heck yeah. Girls, proceed to beat them. Uh-oh. Ow, 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 ow! Why do I live in a studio with a bunch of women? After the hours-long mating... Hours? Hours? I'm feeling very inadequate. She left with what one would call a very satisfied look on her face. This made the Elder worry for death. If she told what she enjoyed at his hands, he would be chased even more so, and there would be chaos. Nice. With a heavy heart, he decided to give this hunter a permanent post on one of their hunting worlds. Death would be assigned to be the permanent hunting ground guardian of their most valuable hunting grounds. This planet was called in the inhabitants' language Earth. Floyd began to get all sorts of this ready. A plasma charger, a maintenance kit, a portable trophy storage, a brand new car! His Swiss communicator repaired and upgraded. And last but not least, a brand new visor with a neural scan feature. He boarded his pod and was about to leave when she stopped him.
Don't eat anything from your trophies. Be careful to choose a mate well. And don't forget to braid your hair after washing it. It's always easier when it's wet. Oh, I'm going to miss you, my precious boy!
The other hunters almost looked at him like they would miss him too. I will, Mother. Long life to you, Elder, and happy hunting to my clan. The females, of course, were sad that he was gone. Meanwhile, the men were actually kind of happy because now the females would stop chasing him down. Woot. This made everyone sound really happy. And no one was rejoicing. Hooray! I wished them happy hunting as well. The elder was standing beside Wolf as the proud hunter named Death left, and they both wonder if they would ever see this hunter again. Chapter 2. His ship was in high orbit, and he decided to descend using a standard landing pod. His armor looked almost like any other predator, except his visor, which proudly displayed that he had hunted xenomorphs and killed a queen. He quickly turned on this cloak. What about that cloak? Does he want to turn on that? It began to travel from tree to tree. Since this is Naruto, the trees were on infinite loop. Ow! The predator homeworld had much heavier gravity than that of Earth. He began to detect some heat signatures, and was sure that they were some animals. No reason not to get hunting a little. Get hunt? Get bent! First, he killed a fan deer. He had excellent-sized horns, and would make a fine trophy. He took care of the trophy, and placed it in his powerful trophy case. The case allowed to store many trophies, and could shrink down to be carried on his belt. How could the... His mother could never answer him how in the world that thing worked. Oh, it was dimensionally transcendental. He had a nice meal that he cooked using a fire jutsu. He was having a nice drink of his favorite drink. And that would be... It was traditional dinner tea. Oh, at least for a pred. It consisted of a boiling some blood, with some tea leaves and raining tea when it was cold enough to drink. Ew! His mother told him that it offered a nice source of protein, and the taste was relaxing. After so long drinking it, he could make out practically anything, except for xenomorph blood. That stuff could eat right through the metal, and he was not willing to see what it would do to his stomach. Ha ha! That's what you get for not having the stomach of a scientist, Noiji. The planet was too simple. For some odd reason, he missed the place he called his homeworld. I thought you would probably banish that to the parkour of your mind. But this was one of his clan's most cherished and valued hunting grounds. The chances of him meeting a predator. Does he mean chances? Hunting without the permission of the elder were slim to none. His was one of the strongest there was. Naruto's strongest there is. No one would dare cross him, or hunt without the approval of a predator. But deep down, he missed the voice cooking. Need ramen badly! As he finished his meal, he went to sleep on one of the tree branches. It was a practice that the fellow hunters did to keep out of reach of dangerous crawling creatures, and in some cases plant life. He was having a nice dream about hunting when some idiot bumped against a tree and woke him up. That thing that bumped onto this tree better be away, or dead. Sure enough, the creature was indeed dead. It was a strangely dressed person. Only Kurama telling him that the person was a ninja. Ninja! Made Naruto realize that he was back on the world he was once born on. I thought you mentioned that. You just said a few seconds ago that you missed the place, that you actually missed being there. It was described in the earlier paragraph. I completely forgot about it. Or at least managed to suppress the memory. But you did it! You just said... Now, Why did this so-called ninja bump into the tree? His visor switched from night vision to infrared. The image came to him quite clear, and he knew what was happening. A group of these ninja was hunting down a female ninja, and that this person was the one that killed the fool that bumped into the tree. Females were considered precious by the members of his clan, and it was a major taboo to kill a female that could still bear children. So, he aimed his plasma cannon, and with the aid of his visor, targeted every one of her attackers. Man, this plasma cannon multi-locking feature is so awesome! Kurenai was having a hard time. These Kumo rogue ninjas had just killed her team, and was now trying to capture her for some unpleasant things. If you know what I mean. That's wink, say them all. Right. On a completely separate note, I just went on Google search to try and see if I could remind myself who Kurenai was, and the first thing I got on the statistic list was Kurenai Lemon. And people say bronies are bad. And the reports about their activities in the feared nearby villages, these planned to capture her and sell her in the sex slave market. Either that, or planning to use her ninja skills for gambling. Either one was possible at this point. So he was about to trap the enemy in a genjutsu, when he saw something strange, and it don't look good. 3 dots of light appeared on each enemy's heads. Next thing there was a blast of light, so bright she made her close her eyes. She opened them, so he saw that each enemy was dead. Looked like they had been hit with a fireball jutsu from up close.
Whoever's there, come on out! I mean you no harm.
Kurenai had only heard the wind.
Please come out. I only want you to thank you for saving me.
Still no reply. Naruto was suspicious of the female. He switched to neural vision on her visor. The visor told him that she was feeling gratitude, fear, and pain. And a little bit misty-eyed. Must have been thinking of trust and betrayal. This female might be injured, but he had no reason to offer her any medical care. When Kurenai decided that whoever it was would not come out, or was simply shy, she offered to thank you, and began to jump from tree branch to tree branch. Kurama told him to follow her. The enemy would not give up so easily. He had nothing better to do, so he did just that. Decided to chill out. It turns out Kurama was right.
Of course I'm right. I'm a very smart man.
The leader of the rogue ninja was a very strong-looking man. He had 2 gloves that had claw tips. Oh my god! It's an evil Logan!
So tell me, Konoha scum, what have you done to my men?
Kurenai told him that she defended herself, as someone had killed them.
It was like the jungle came alive and took them.
While she was busy defending herself. The man did not believe it. No. That's not the bio.
You expect me to believe that the Genjutsu Mistress of Konoha was caught by surprise and had a tough time defending herself? Get serious.
Naruto was not about to let this male hard the female he had just saved.
He was just interrogating.
Using his cloak, he sneaked behind it. Come on! And as he finished his little monologue, he activated the wrist blades close to his body. The blades cut through the man, and while he was still impaled, Naruto buzzed him in the back and took the hold of his spine. In a scene that would be a nightmare later, Kurenai saw the 2 blades rip through the enemy, and then something rip his clean head off. Decapitation! Pulling his spine. Then the blade disappeared, and from a distance, a war cry was heard, like nothing she had ever heard before. She went in direction of the scream, and found a strange young man, cleaning what seemed to be a human skull and spine, with some tools she had never seen before. Brush! Time to brush your teeth.
Excuse me. Can I talk to you for a minute?
You strange, murderous, killer person, you, who decided to kill a person right in front of me. I should be horribly terrified and not wanting to go anywhere near you, but for some odd reason you are just fascinating to me. We call this the Twilight Effect. Really? We're doing a Twilight joke? Hey, give me a break. It's early in the morning. This would be the main centerpiece of his trophy display, or at least for the moment. He had no time to waste on useless chatter. Kurenai walked over to him and touched him on the shoulder. She was surprised to see that he was wearing strange armor. He was cloaked.
I really need to talk with you. Could you leave that for later?
Naruto did not look at her. No, I cannot. You Umen might treat your trophies however you like, but my clan treats our trophies with proper respect. This trophy must be properly cleaned and treated, or it will rot and outlast a valuable trophy. Naruto continued to use the various tools in his cleaning kit. When he was happy that he took care of the cleaning, he took a small can and applied it all over the so-called trophy. Then he had it bronzed, placed it on his mantelpiece right above the fireplace. He then took a rag and began to polish the skull and the rest of his so-called trophy. When he was done, he took something from his belt and laid it on the ground to open it. It was a Pokeball! The case became larger, and he placed the human trophy, then closed it and placed it back onto his belt. Kurenai could not believe what he saw. She saw. Now, I can answer your questions. Naruto sat down and looked at her.
Did you save me before? And why did you kill that rogue ninja with those blades? And what was that shout I just heard?
Naruto introduced himself as Death. And then Kurenai proceeded to break down laughter. He made her promise not to reveal what he would answer, as he did promise that. I did save you, and I do not need your gratitude. I killed them because they disrupted my sleep. Such discourteous creatures you humans are. The reason I killed him, he seemed like a worthy prey, and that shout was a traditional victory cry in my clan. Now if you'll excuse me. Naruto was about to leave, when he made yet another question that sounded more like a set of new questions. Naruto had a feeling this would take some time.
What do you mean, worthy prey? Are we just things for you to hunt? And can you please let me see your face?
Naruto answered yes to all these questions. With a loud noise, the tubes and cables came off, and he lifted his visor off clear his head and strapped it to his belt. Now, what purpose do you have for wanting to see my face? Kurenai saw an almost yellow-green tint to his skin, but other than that, seemed like a normal young man. Wow, so that whole entire thing did so much for your body.
I was planning on inviting you to meet your leader. He might want to reward you for helping me.
Brilliant idea, Kurenai!
Oh boy. The only thing that would be worse is if suddenly she became his mate. Naruto put back his visor and reconnected the tubes and cables. Doubtful. Your kind are not known to be grateful or worthy of trust. If you will not tell me your real reason, then I will leave now. Kurenai had no other choice but to tell her reasons.
Our leader will thank you, but also without you, my report will seem like I made things up. I need you to back up what I report, especially on how those rogue ninja were killed by you.
Naruto saw through her visor that he was just being honest. Okay, Hal, that visor does a lot of things, but I don't know how it did it! The neural visor on his was indeed a great gift. He would thank his mother when and if he met her again. Very well. In honor of your honesty, I shall do that. Please, lead the way. She began walking toward Konoha and heard a weird sound. The young vanished.
So, he wanted me to turn around to leave.
Kurenai was surprised when she heard him tell her that he was still there. As he walked toward the village following her, she asked why hide his presence. Your village does not know me. I could be attacked, and I'm honor-bound to kill all those who attack me. A guard welcomed her to the village. Howdy! As he went straight to the large building on the other end.
This is Hokage Tower. We call our leader the Hokage.
She heard a sound like a small cough. My companion just told me of 5 people called Kages. Please, let's go to your leader. Paragraph! I wish to be away from this wretched place as quickly as possible. Kurenai could not understand why he hate me, Jane. Heard in his voice. She stood in front of an old man wearing strange robes.
I'm not wearing anything under here!
Hokage, I have to report on those rogue ninja! Sadly, my team had been killed while we did our mission.
The old man did look rather sad to hear the fate of her team.
I swear, if you kill Hinata, I'm going to go give you such a pinch.
She proceeded to tell how she managed to get away from the enemy. Hokage did not believe a word of it. It was like a fairy tale.
Please, Death, I need to tell him that I am telling the truth.
The Hokage did not understand what she was talking about, till the figure of a strangely armored young man appeared out of thin air. He was wearing a strange-looking helmet. I did away with the woman that had been trying to trap your female ninja. I also killed a strong human a few hundred yards from here. He made a great trophy. Now, I believe this was your only request. I shall leave. Out of nowhere, a team of Anbu tried to capture him. What? They made the mistake of attacking him. What? She remembered what he had told her. What? An Anbu? What? Without a word, he took out his staff and extended itself. It had strange lights of some kind. Thank you for pointing that out to me. In a matter of seconds, he disappeared, and in confusion, killed the entire Anbu team by cutting them to ribbons. The Hokage was about to attack. Kurenai told him,
This man is honor-bound to kill all that attack him. I think he would kill you too, Hokage, if you attack him.
The Hokage understood in what he was saying and sat down again. Naruto retracted his weapon and put it back in place.
I'm sorry. These men felt that you would attack our leader.
Why? He gave no indication. How? Naruto looked at her and told her he had no intention of doing that. He was simply doing what she had asked of him. The old man asked him why he would not attack, unless he attacked first. My clan forbid killing of children, elderly, the sick, or females that are pregnant. I can only break that for self-defense. The Hokage asked him if his clan had a name. He was quick to tell him that his clan was not something that humans could hope to pronounce. He asked him to take his helmet off, so that he may apologize for Anbu's actions. Naruto complied. As the helmet came off and his face was revealed, the old man began to smile. This was the boy that went missing so long ago and was never found. The village had done something completely stupid and threw a big party when he disappeared. Only 3 people cried when this young boy went missing besides himself. The first was Kakashi Hakate, the Anbu that was going to be his guard. And the people that ran the Iziraku ramen stand. They also gave him free food whenever he was near the stand. Why didn't they take him in? No. Why didn't Kakashi take him in? Why didn't the Anbu take him in? Why didn't anybody take him in when they started seeing all this abuse? This makes no sense! Kurenai could not understand the reaction that the Hokage was having just from looking at this young man. His strange skin color, blonde braided hair, and clear eyes were strange to be sure, but the Hokage looked positively happy. I don't know what an Umen is, but your clan can't be pronounced by me. You are Naruto Uzumaki, a child of this village that had gone missing for a long time. I prefer that you call me Death. I was given this name by my elder for my achievements. I will not dishonor my mother Void by having you call me some weird name that I have never heard before. Naruto was firm on his beliefs. Then let me tell you about myself and who you become. Naruto sat down and waited for the old man to start. Offered him a cup of liquid. Would you give her some tea? Naruto took the cup and began to smell it, taste it. Strange, this tasted nothing like tea. It's not poison. I'll tell you, this is a long story. I simply want you to be comfortable. Naruto looked at him and bowed his head. Thank you. And I think that will serve as a good introduction. Oh boy. Some of the problems with this fic. Pacing-wise, it's decent. We've got a perfectly good pace going on here. Introduction, then start of the adventure. I won't deny that. The grammar can get taxing at times. Namely in the fact that the comma splice was abused. I mean, the poor little thing. It was treated like it was a poor little subterfuge. And there was a lot of, I wanted to do this, and then this. There was a lot of showing, not telling. There was a lot of moments where I would have liked to see certain scenes, but the author decided to glance over them. But I think a lot of the problems come from both the character and the freaking narrative. Sadly, some of this also comes from the Naruto side of things. In Naruto, I mean, I love the first half, but sometimes it did irk me that none of the village decided to, be nice to the guy with the genocidal weapon! I mean, apparently every time they used the nine-tailed being, or any tailed being, they were always abused or looked down upon. The only guy who managed to beat through this was the 8th Hokage, the rapping guy. With Naruto, I find myself asking two questions. One, why do this if this guy was like this? And second, when we found out that he was the 4th Hokage, thank you, Shippuden! Why didn't they decide to, I don't know, be nice to him? As a matter of fact, we see what happens when you take one of them off. Oh, hi, Gaara. However, that kind of transfers over to this story. That Naruto is led into the orphanage by the Hokage. And then this orphanage proceeds to give him a worse life than what you would find in a friggin' Charles Dickens novel. Now, the original Naruto, I felt like, maybe somebody was nice enough to take care of him for a while, for about 12 years or so, keep an eye on him. I mean, it looked like maybe the people of the Izaku Ramen, or at least Iruka. Those guys probably were nice enough to keep an eye on him and make sure he was okay. As a matter of fact, I have a feeling that probably did happen because putting him into an orphanage like this where he could be abused and dang near murder was completely stupid. That's one problem with this whole abuse story here, is that I feel kind of like he went overboard with this whole entire abuse. Because I find myself asking a whole lot of questions, like, okay, so they lied, but now you say that Kakashi was meant to be his bodyguard. There was an Anbu Ops that was meant to keep an eye on him, and then you had the family of the Yatsukaku Ramen. Nobody asked this! Nobody asked, hey, Naruto, how come you had those bruises? I fell down some stairs. Kakashi looks like a perfectly nice guy. He probably could have asked, done some investigation. Nobody did! That sadly stretches credibility. I was kind of hoping that this was an alternate reality where this did not happen. Because if you look at Naruto's younger days on the anime, well, even before he becomes a ninja, you see him actually making some friends. Like, say, Kiba and Senna. Shadow Guy. I'm trying to remember his name right now. But then you sit there and but I sit here and still wondering, okay, you say this, and yet nobody dare try to stop this or do investigations or start thinking, maybe killing him would be a bad idea. What's going to happen to the demon? Because apparently they weren't that stupid to try to kill him and unleash the demon that was inside. I think nobody else knew that there was a demon locked inside. Oh wait, they did! Now, while I don't mind the whole entire getting adopted part, I did like that, being a ripoff of Samus as it was. I had one problem that was slowly permeating through my head. This wasn't Naruto. This wasn't Naruto being adopted into a Predator clan. This was just some OC being adopted into a Predator clan. But this was not Naruto. Yes, I know. He had the blue eyes, the hair, and he had the name of Naruto. But this was not Naruto. Let me put it there. Let me explain. This was closer to what some might call a possession Sue. Because this was not Naruto. And this slowly also ventured on being a Gary Sue as well. I'll get to that in a bit. But the reason why I say this was not Naruto was because, well, this lacked any of Naruto's traits. This lacked anything that made Naruto Naruto. If I were to have just read the second chapter, gave you a list of this guy, you wouldn't think it was Naruto. This was not Naruto getting adopted. This was closer to Sasuke getting adopted. And if you wanted to have Sasuke getting adopted, be my guest. But through it all, the story did not feel like it was Naruto at all. And if you're trying to make a story like this, try to keep the character's personality somewhat intact so we here in the audience, hi, remember me? I'm the guy who's reading your stuff, can actually know that this is the character that got adopted. Not saying that having Naruto getting adopted by predators wouldn't be cool. It would be. Because this could match up with some of his ninja training, and it would be cool to have a ninja being adopted by a pred, since, you know, they're like ninjas. But not like this. This just felt like some guys OC with Naruto attached. If you wanted to add his abuse, then go ahead. But I think it would have been better if Naruto was either A, taken by a predator as a young baby, abandoned by Konoha, or B, he was abused and all that, but he still kept his personality and he still left. But this was not. What's worse? You turned him into you pushed him right into Gary Stu territory with this. And that was just painful to watch. I mean, good golly. People don't believe me? Think about this. All the female Preds want the D. They all want Naruto's big freaking D. They all want him to bang. And when he finally loses his virginity to Nightclaw, it lasted hours. And, oh, by the way, Kurose was well endowed. He successfully kills the Xenomorph Queen on his first hunt at 10. He is given everything by Kurama. I'm sorry about that. No problem, Kurama. He is told by Kurama to be given everything. So thus, there's no suspense when you're reading a new skill. There's no suspense when once you try to give out something. Oh, and of course he has Shadow Clone Jutsu because it's Naruto. He only has one move. Oh, and then he starts learning every jutsu out there. And then, to wrap this all up, he comes to Earth, single-handedly kills a couple of ninjas, and meets over Kurenai, who most likely will want to get into his pants. If you'll excuse me. She does. She becomes Naruto's mate, and she is pregnant somewhere in the chapter 20s. Yeah, not gonna lie, that's a pretty bad plot point. Again, I call this the Twilight Effect.
Again with the Twilight gags. I thought you were better than this martial arts user. I thought you were better.
Now you know, Trixie. Now you know. Also, the sudden killing of the Anbu Ops seemed kind of sudden. But still, I hesitate to call this fic horrible since, we've all been around here, have been sitting through this, have been sat through worse, but I wouldn't necessarily call this a Naruto fic, a Naruto gets adopted type fic. I bet I could remove all references to this guy being called Naruto, and you wouldn't notice the difference. And I think that would have probably made some parts of the plot better. Or instead of making this Naruto getting adopted by Preds, you say this was Sasuke. I think if this was Sasuke being adopted, I would probably like this a little bit more. And if you said that his name wasn't Death, good golly, that could not have sounded cool in your head. You could not have told me you actually looked into your screen when you typed that up and said, I'm going to name my new character Death. Click. This is me. Ah! I was laughing so hard. You're probably wondering why I think Death is a stupid title. Think about it.
I am called Death.
That sounds like something you would hear in a 90s superhero name.
Yeah! I'm Death!
Dude!
Like, that would actually be awesome! You could give him a whole bunch of guns and planes, and you could call him Death, bringer of destruction. I'm 90s kid, and what you see is what you get.
My apologies to Linkara for using his character. Thank you. But still, you could probably check it out yourself, but I recommend that there are probably a few better fakes out there that feature the Preds doing what they do best. Oh, and in case you're wondering, no, I don't really mind hearing all the Preds talking English. I just kind of wondering why he managed to talk English to Naruto and how he learned English so fast. Maybe if there was a little explanation that said, I'm using an alien translator to be able to discover how you speak English, I'd be a little bit better. Well, that was one down, 1,000 more to go. I'll see you next time.